Hi and welcome, Kayleigh. I'm so excited to have you on this interview today for Women's Trans Society. You are now a client for a couple of months already, like 4 months in, right? We
Yep.
started back in mid-May.
Hey. Yep.
Now it's already September,
I
and I'm
know.
super glad to have you today. Like the honor to talk to you, and yeah, share a little bit more about your story and what brought you even into like joining Women's Trans Society. What have you already achieved? And I think I would love to start to understand better who is Kayleigh.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I feel honored to have this invitation today. So, yes, I'm in New Zealand, so it's 7 p.m. my time. Um, yeah, I guess my journey started with you. I always thought I was relatively fit. I did fun runs, small triathlons. I was even trained and qualified as a firefighter here in New Zealand. And I guess I always thought more was better, you know, running, doing everything that I should do for me to be active and fit and for changes
Mm.
to occur. And I guess that wasn't happening. I hadn't been part of a gym in a couple of decades. So I don't know, I guess there was an epiphany or a moment in my life that I'm like, okay, right, I've got to make some changes. I've got some more free time in my life. Partner and I run a small construction business. Don't have any, I guess, really little kids at home. So I've got more free time to invest in myself. Um, yeah, so I think I was following you for all of 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
very short, right? I
yeah,
remember when you popped into
yeah,
my DMs and we had a little like chat and then we were hopping on a call. So it was really like just 2 weeks, which was
yeah. So
pretty
that
cool.
happened quite quickly, and I guess I didn't have the structure in place. I thought I was eating relatively healthy. You've proved that wrong. I guess I didn't have set macros. There was just no structure and formation behind what I was doing. So. Um, I did join the gym. Sorry if I've got my story a little bit confused here. Um, so I decided to join a gym, but I wasn't noticing any significant changes happening.
Mm,
It felt I was aimlessly just going through the motions as we
mm,
do. And I thought, I'm putting in all of this effort. I want rewards back. And you've drastically changed that. I've got a proper transformation roadmap ahead of me. I know what my daily step targets are. I know what my set macros are. I have my, personalized strength training program, an amazing app. It's all logged in there, easy to follow. I really appreciate the weekly check-ins with you.
mm,
Um, it's an opportunity for, I guess, me to reflect on my past week, what has happened, what am I going to do differently to get towards my goals that I want? And what is it that I need from you and your team
mm.
to help me get to those goals? So I really like that. Yeah.
Cool. So it's kind of you were missing kind of the teamwork actually to
Oh,
build
everything,
your
right?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, just going through the motions and lifting, weights from A to B. And you've proven me wrong in many facets of this, the 17-week program. But it's been amazing and it's just what I needed. Yeah.
Cool. I'm so happy. Have you because you said like you were team of the like firefighters, like what is your do you have a background even in sports when you're like really looking back into your youth or childhood or then early adulthood? Were you like a sporty person?
Yes, I was a sporty person. Throughout high school, was always playing netball over here, touch rugby, cricket, you name it. I probably participated in all
Yeah.
of that. Um, I would never say I was, 100%, favorable or conscious or, bikini body or, um, about my physique.
Hmm.
Always had in the back of my mind, I wanted to look better. Maybe a little bit like your story, didn't want to wear the short skirts or shorts or really show, your body off. And I guess having that, conscious awareness of that. Yeah.
So it's something that was kind of always there, but you never knew like how to work specifically on that.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I really can relate to that because it can be something that is even like in certain stages of life, not even like that present, but then there are like moments in life when it kind of like comes up again, and we are like,
Yes.
oh, damn, like maybe I can do something about that, and maybe I can change. So,
Yes.
what has been like your little, you said it earlier, like epiphany moment or moment where you were like, damn, like there needs to be a way to change things because when I'm looking at you, I'm like, you seem to me like a confident woman. Even like the first time we talked to each other, right? So I'm like, why even change? Like, why get on that journey? Why put, and you said it before, like you were already doing like all of the work and now doing the work, but even more so like precise and accurate in everything that you are doing. I think it takes work and not everyone is ready to do that. So I'm like, what is
The
giving
magic
you
sword. No.
what is making you like be hungry for that like more and seeing really what you're able to achieve?
Yeah, I think maybe it is just my inherent personality that, you know, set a target, set a goal, and I'm, strong-willed, strong-minded that, yeah, I'm going to do everything in my power to
Mm,
achieve set goal. I guess that determination, I guess it's having a little bit of your accountability there, right? But I don't want to rely on that. I want this is my new, lifestyle. This is the new me. I knew I could do this. I wasn't happy where I was and just going through the motions of lifting weights and, I love your tagline, looking like you lift, being that 1% in the gym and going, damn, she lifts weights. She's not just, she looks great in her activewear in the gym, but, she's lifting some good numbers
mm,
and I guess there's so much white noise and it is heavily on Instagram with, those quick fixes and a 12-week challenge. And,
mm.
I didn't buy into any of that. I know it's not going to be a 12-week, fixer for me. I'm here for, I am invested. And I'm a little bit older now. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy as it would have been had I, started this journey in my 30s or even my,
Mm.
early 40s. Um, yeah.
So you are like next year, I know that a big birthday is coming up. Has this also been something this year, like because you joined like a month before your birthday, right? And so
Yes.
I see this little trend, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but I see this little trend of women joining me like roughly a year before a next like big birthday coming up. right? So most of
And
the
it's
time,
winter, right? So aim for my summer, so Southern Hemisphere. So
yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. So
yeah,
I see women joining us like in like being 39 and then 40 being the next big number and then
yes.
49 and 50 being the next big number and even like 59 and then 60 being the next big number. Do you have the feeling that I mean, a birthday is a birthday, right? It's only one day in a year, and I do think some people might see it as something special. They like to celebrate it. Others are more like, yeah, it's a normal day. But do you have the feeling that a birthday coming up, or it remembers us that time is not like it's not infinite, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like, maybe I need to pull the trigger now because there's not so much left. And I
Well, it
mean, like,
feels like that. I hope I've left myself enough time to to hit that milestone. No, but I guess that just gives you a little bit extra motivation, right? So yeah, counting down the months to the reveal. I would love to do that. I would love to, jump on Instagram or Facebook and go, dang, this is me. I'm 50 and I'm fabulous, and this is what I've achieved. Secretly I've been doing this. I that is a semi motivator, but it's still a long way off, and you've got to put in the effort. You put it in, you provide the structure. I've got to implement it. You can give me all the tools, all the advice, but if I don't do it, well, I'm not going to get
yeah.
those benefits from that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing the work. I mean, you're definitely someone who is showing up every week, even though there are moments, and I think that's like super normal, but there are like certain types of people when it gets hard or when things are showing up, there are maybe like the progress is slowing down or we are not like perfectly on point, then we kind of start to hide. And you are definitely not that type of woman. You're like always showing up, you're always doing your like check-ins and giving me also a very good understanding of like what's currently going on in your life or what's happening. I remember the puppy story, the story with your dog
Yes.
sleeping, like where you had like you hit kind of a little like fat loss like plateau in your
Yes.
journey, and you were like, yeah, I'm not sleeping so well because the dog is in the bedroom, and then I have to get up like every day. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yes, I did. And, the penny dropped for me when I'd listened to one of your podcasts where Yannick and you were talking about, the imperative of sleep. And you kind of know in the back of your mind, of course, sleep is important and, obviously unbroken sleep. But I just thought, yeah, I'm getting my 8 hours. What does
Mhm.
it matter if, I'm waking up at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock and then I'm actually getting up at 5 or 6 o'clock? Well, clearly it did matter. And I think a few days later, there was like a massive big,
Yeah,
dip,
it was
uh,
like
um,
it was
weight loss.
1.5 kilo or something like in like from Monday to Friday, because on Monday I was then sending you back the message of like, hey, sleep's important, like don't
Yes,
underestimate it, especially also in a fat loss
absolutely.
phase. Um, because your body is then favoring like losing the body fat instead of the muscle mass. And then you were like putting in the work and you were like, okay, dog is going
Yes,
not to
absolutely.
sleep.
He's to the doghouse. Yeah.
Exactly. And I will take care of like my sleep. And I think that's super cool to see because you are very, very fast in implementing the things. And
Yeah.
not even that I'm always right. I do have like a ton of strategies and like I'm pulling the strings kind of to see what helps you the best in the moment. Um,
Hmm.
but the amazing thing with you is that you're implementing the feedback very, very fast, and that helps me also as a coach in our relationship to provide you the best support because only by making very fast adjustments along the way, we're actually able to achieve those amazing results that you had. And I just want to like get into that for just a second because I remember your consultation form at the very beginning where you were dropping down your long-term goal. I mean, you were also dropping down like a short-term goal, but I want to
Yes.
talk about the long-term goal. You said in your long-term goal, I want to lose 4 to 6 kilo in the next
Yes.
12 months. Like that was the big goal. And I remember that I was reading it and I was like kind of a little bit like laughing, having a little like smile because I already knew that we will be able to hit that goal
That's
way,
it. Yeah.
way faster.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
hit your goal target of losing 6 kilo in 12 weeks instead
Yes.
of 12 months.
Yes.
What was that kind of a moment for you to realize when you realized it's going much faster when you have that structure in place?
It's it sounds too good to be true. And I'm not usually glass half empty. I would normally be glass half full. But I guess it's aiming too high, potentially with the weight loss, and then not hitting it, so kind of holding a little bit
Mm,
back, going, oh, if I'd put, oh, I want to, lose 12 kilos in 12 weeks. And then if I don't hit that, then I'm disappointed. So it's kind of like um, under promise, overachieve. Yeah.
mhm,
Um, yeah, the first week seeing a weight loss, like I said, I'd been at the gym, thought I was doing more, was, running on the treadmill. My aerobic, I mean, you spotted that, fitness was shot with my low intensity.
mm,
Um, always thinking I've got to do things harder to burn the calories.
yeah.
And this wasn't happening. I hadn't lost any weight in a good 9 to 12 months. So I seriously didn't think um, I could lose the 6 kgs in 12 weeks. So really happily pleased. You've got that roadmap there for us. And like I said, if you're going to, follow it, implement it, put in the hard work, you're pulling the different levers, you're seeing what's working. Have
Mm,
I got Kylie's, exact macros set correctly? It just it's been, should I say, is it the easiest phase? Fat loss, because you've got that target to go towards. And everyone's like, oh, Kylie, you're tracking your macros, you're on a diet. And I'm just like, well, would you like to see my meal plan? I feel like I'm eating more, eating better. I don't want to spoiler alert, but I'm still eating ice cream. I'm still eating chocolate. Like, um, yeah, so could the weight loss be better? Probably. You see it. It's not like I'm hiding anything from you.
you're not.
Um, yeah,
Would you say
yeah.
that like before we worked together that how you were because you were already eating healthy and you were also paying attention to like portion um sizing and stuff like that, that before that you were even more so strict or cutting out stuff for like certain periods of time because you thought it's like unhealthy to eat those things, like a little bit good food, bad food kind of stuff?
Yeah, I felt in moderation. We've got a teenage daughter under the roof, and you're going to have chocolate, you're going to have potato chips, and just junk food in the house. I guess the temptation, or if you're working from home, oh, I'll just have a snack, I'll have this, um, is there. Um, yeah,
So you would
yeah.
say that now it's actually easier to implement those things while achieving your goals, whereas before you were maybe also snacking on those things, but
Yes, true. And probably the wrong, what is it, ratio of the carbs, the
mm,
protein, and the fats. Um, you know, we grow avocados here. I love avocados. You're not really realizing the content of fat in all these foods. Yeah, and I guess we're all kind of being conditioned. Carbs are the enemy, right? Whereas, like, conversely, it's now get those carbs in me. I want those carbs for my training now. Just a different mindset shift. And, I wish that was out there more for young girls to see. Yeah.
I'm on a mission, definitely. Like
Yeah.
the thing that is like super important to us, like for Women's Trans Society, and the mission is to help more women, and starting with especially the moms is super important because they have such a big influence on their children and
Yes.
their daughters. And I think if we can help more women and like young children, female children, girls, educate them better on like it's not only it's not about like the aesthetics and the physique and the looks, or like it's not going in that direction, but really about educating them on nutrition and how to fuel your body and how to move, and not having that all or nothing, like being super restrictive and being super, oh, this is all bad, but more so being curious, like, what is it that you put in your body? What does it do? Like, what is the benefit of carbs and sugars and all those things? Like, how can you implement them as well to fuel your body properly?
Absolutely.
Do
Couldn't
you,
agree more.
yeah,
Yeah.
do you have sometimes a talk with your daughter about that? Is she like, does she see like what you're doing? Is she asking?
Yes.
Is
And
that not a
she's
topic
implementing these. She's going to the gym.
with you
Um,
or on her own?
a couple of times, but with schooling and all of that, just hours a bit different. But, it's been um, quite a really, a nice moment of, you know, food not the enemy and, so impressionable, like you said, and fueling the body properly and, reading labels on packaging. And not under eating, as a 16-year-old wanting to, have the slender body and I must starve myself. And yeah, I see her out with the scales, Dragana. So, hopefully I'm not too much of an influence on counting that, because I'm trying to, say that well, that's not important. You've got to be eating way more calories than me. Uh she's nearly 6 foot, and I'm yeah, quite a bit smaller than that. So, she's got to be eating a lot more than me as
Oh
a
yeah,
growing teenager. Yeah.
100%. Even like she's super young, right? Super
Yes.
probably active, still growing. So she
Yeah.
definitely needs fuel to come in. But it's nice to see that, because I see also sometimes moms having the concern of like, what will my children think of me when I'm weighing my food or paying attention to my nutrition? Will I be a bad role model, kind of, because I'm so concerned about like what's going on with my nutrition and fitness and all that things? And I'm always thinking, I'm not a mom, but I'm always thinking, why not like flipping the script and seeing it as an opportunity to educate and be open, like sharing like why it's important. Because you mentioned earlier today that for you, it's not only about the physique and the bikini body. There is way more behind that. You also want to be the woman who's lifting in the gym and who's like, when I'm walking in, like people just know that what she's doing is, she knows what she's doing, right? You are
Yeah.
lifting some heavy weights. You are not there in like some Pilates and barre classes, which is also fine, right?
Yes,
But
absolutely.
only
Yes.
doing that is probably not something that will help us like get strong and become more resilient, right? And so I think
And it's longevity, right? Getting older and osteoporosis and just looking after our body. And like I said, I wish I'd done this earlier, but, I haven't. I'm here now. So I'm maximizing the time and, that I do have to do this. And I'm committed to this as my new me. Yeah.
that will be my next question, is like, what would you say to your younger self? Let's go like 20 years back. Like, what would you say to Kayleigh? what was Kaileigh doing back then? Do you
30,
remember?
30. Yeah, just. Yeah, I was stuck in corporate, day in, day out, probably working
Mm,
60 hours a week, stuck in traffic for 2 hours. It's easier, I guess, now in my life. I've got more time in my hands. I'm not making that as any excuse, but sometimes just invest in yourself, Kylie. I would have said, you are important, not just these big corporate companies. Um, it's your own health and well-being. I went through a bit of a health scare, and I guess that was a little bit of a scare to me. And gone, okay, I thought I was fit and healthy, and I thought I was eating right. Was it stress? Was it, just circumstances that surrounded, global pandemic and COVID and what was happening with that? But I think it was just the little kick in the butt that Kylie needed. But
when
yeah,
was
I would,
that? When was that?
my health scare?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, coming up 3 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you think it was like related to how you were living your life before that?
I would definitely say, and I definitely wasn't burning the candle at both ends. I think it was just, a perfect storm with the environment, the hours working. Um, yeah, like I said, I thought I was fit and healthy.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so, I think you've got that perception of you think you're fit and healthy, but, when you really get into this and go, well, actually, this is what, fit is, or getting
Mm.
stronger really is. I thought I was lifting some, strong weights, but, I didn't have that progressive overload. And, if you'd asked me even 17 weeks ago, what would I be capable of lifting, or what would I be lifting? And I definitely wouldn't have thrown out the numbers that I'm currently lifting now. And, gosh, I've still got a long, long way to go. Yeah, but it's exciting. And, that gives me that motivation of going into the gym each day, and, that little bit of pep talk and self-talk of, you know,
You can
holding the
do
various
this.
dumbbells. Yeah. And going, yeah, breathe it out. Yeah, you've got it. You can do it. Yeah.
So what would you say like had the like how has your life, body, confidence changed in the past 4 months being part of Women's Strength Society?
Significantly. I mean, like you said, I am, I guess a semi-confident, happy person. But I guess it's rounded me. It's given me a different kind of purpose, and investing in me and gone, yeah, I've got strategy behind what I'm actually doing now. I'm not just doing it and going through the motions. I'm seeing the results. Yeah. It happened at the right time. Um, yeah,
And now you're ready to take on the next big birthday number next year,
absolutely. Yes.
2026. I can already, and we talked about that, but I can already see you like walking into 2026 as that like new woman. I mean, you're still like Kaileigh, but
Yes.
elevated.
Yes,
Next,
absolutely. Yeah,
next,
bring it on. Ring in that bell.
ringing the
Yeah,
bell. Yeah. You also showed
yeah,
me,
yeah.
what did you send me the other day? It was a picture of you for your 40th birthday.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's like
Yeah.
almost 10 years ago, and
I know.
we're gonna
Yeah.
top that.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
I think it's also cool to see that you are someone who understands that this is a long-term transformation journey. Because getting onto that, like starting that journey and understanding that it will take some time, will help you succeed so much more because you're not constantly thinking like, oh, I mean, we're all a little bit like impatient people. Like, who is not a little
Yeah.
bit impatient? Of course, we
Yes.
want to have the rewards.
Yes.
And I mean, you are having them because like currently we're in the fat loss phase. You already lost your, what is it in total? Like 8 kilo.
Nearly. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nearly 8 kilo. And we do have some more milestones to hit, of course. But I think you being in this process or starting this process already knowing that this is going to be not only a phase, but at some point, like really a lifestyle that you can maintain for the rest of your life
Yes.
is something that will help you succeed because it's shifting you from, hey, I'm just on a program to who do I actually need to become to be able also without a coach at some point to maintain what I have created, right? Because that's
Yeah.
the ultimate goal. I mean, I would love to work with you until you're like 100, of course. But our goal is always also to make our ladies independent in the long run so that they don't need like so close support for forever. And I think
Yeah.
you are definitely showing up as someone who is stepping into that identity of becoming the person who is strong and fit and healthy and who is putting herself and her health definitely top of priorities.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
And that makes me excited to work with you and to support you in the next couple of months and then next year as well because it's so much bigger than just a transformation that you can see from the outside. It has a lot to do with the inner world that is also transforming kind of the same way.
Yeah. I'm not ready to cut the umbilical cord yet. I still need you and Yannick and everything that you're, throwing my way. Yeah.
Thank you, Kaileigh, for taking the time today.
You're very welcome. Thank you
Getting
for the invitation.
it's
And if I can help any lady out there with, you know, this journey and making the change, I'm I'm there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it's so amazing to hear. It's cool to hear from maybe like my story and being able to relate to maybe to me, like when you joined my Instagram account and seeing my stuff there going on, right? But you are a different person in a different environment, different age. You are a mom. You have gone through different things than I have. And there are so many women who can relate to you. And
Mhm.
I'm sure that there are women like you out there who are like, I just need that, like, someone to tell me like what to do and I will execute it. And I know
Yeah.
I'm like in it for the long haul. I'm not a quick fix girl. I want this change, not only for my sexy bikini body, but also for my health, right? And longevity, like what you were mentioning, and strength. And so I think it's super cool to have the opportunity to talk to you today and interview you and share your story. So thank you.
Well, thank you.